I got a lot of gems that I'm always willing to drop. First thing is in order to start investing into real estate and to get into real estate, the first thing that you have to do is you have to change your mindset, right? You have to shift your mindset from a poverty mindset to a wealth mindset. I didn't say rich. There's a reason why I didn't say rich. So many people look at real estate and be like, oh, this is a way that I can get rich.
Yeah.
No, you should look at real estate as saying this is a way that I can build wealth.
Yeah.
Right. And as you're getting into it, you have to first shift your mindset. The first thing, shifting your mindset. The second thing that you got to do is you have to change the conversations that you're not just having with other people, but you have to change the conversations that you're having about yourself. Right. So I got to shift my mindset, but that starts when I start to change the conversations I'm having about myself. So about seven years ago, when I was training these NBA guys, right? Well, in the summer times, these were veteran guys, so they were already a little bit ahead of the game for a lot of this stuff, and they were already doing real estate. So 7-8 years ago, I'm sitting in the gym with them, just chopping it up, and they just talking real estate all the time.
Yeah,
like they just going through it like it's normal, and I'm just listening. And learning, right? So one of my my other buddy Garrett, his dad was the first black basketball player at LSU. His family did a ton of real estate down in Louisiana. So when I would go down there in the summer times, I would just be sitting in the family meetings with them and like sitting down talking about real estate. Yeah. And that's all they talking about deals, $2.5 million developments and all this stuff, right? And I'm like, I'm probably like 23 at the time, right? So I'm just like, yo, this is different. I'm like, I ain't never heard this type of language before. You know what I'm saying? But then I just started learning.
Yep.
Well, then I would come back home, and when I would come back home, I would just tell all my friends, because that's who I am. That's my heart. Like if I know something, I'm gonna share it, right? If I have something, I'm gonna share it. So I just come back and I'll just be telling my friends and sharing it with my friends, like, hey, bro, like you got to get into real estate. You need to buy a house. You got to do this and you got to do that, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I transitioned slowly.
Yeah.
So then after that, during the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd, I started to like realize like, bro, yeah, everybody can go and march and do different things. But I'm like, I started understanding it's not just a social issue, it's also an economic issue that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, economically, how can I make a difference, and what is something that I can do? And I said, bruh, I don't just want to be somebody that's talking, I want to be somebody that's actually doing it and being about it and out in the field. So that's what caused me to want to get my real estate license right before all that stuff was going on. And then right when George Floyd hit, I was supposed to take my test, and I actually failed my real estate test 3 times because I took it during the pandemic, during the George Floyd murder, and when the riots, when everything was going on and we were marching and doing all the work. You know, I was trying to take my test. So literally, we'll be at the crib, and I'll have like maybe 10, 12 people at our house just hanging out. You know, and just because it was the pandemic, so people were just hanging out, and I'm sitting there just trying to study. Like, got my headphones in, trying to study, and I eventually got my license, and I started just helping people. Say, hey, one thing that I could do is help bridge the gap, you know, with the wealth gap. So that's how I got in it.
Okay, that's awesome, man. So now, I want to touch a little bit on the, you know, you took the classes, no, you took the test and you failed, right? Prior to that, how many, if someone wants to be a realtor right now, how do you even get into that? Like, is there like a class somewhere? Is there like a school somewhere?
Yeah, so you can go, so you could do it either online or you could do it in person.
Okay.
Right? You have different, you know, platforms that you could take the classes on. You got, you know, I think it's like Minnesota Realty School. You got Kaplan University. You could do it on demand where you can like do it as you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you can just do it live, like where you can just join the live classes. And sometimes I think with that you can actually, you won't believe this. Yeah. It's actually crazy. I don't know, and the king would actually know this, but to be a barber, right? I think it's a crazy amount of hours to be a barber. To be a real estate agent, is really only, you take like I think realistically it's only 90 hours.
Okay.
So to sell somebody a house, right, that's a big investment, a huge investment, it's like 90 hours, but to go to barber school is like
I think
a crazy amount of hours.
Yeah, one of the guys just got done. I think nowadays, it's like 9 months you got to go.
It's a lot, bro.
It's a lot. I'm like, hey, look, man, I'm trying to cut hair. What's up, man? I'm trying to get this hair money. But I'm not going to school for 9 months again. I cannot do that. So, okay, so 90 hours, you answered, because I was going to say, how long does that usually take?
Yeah, so you after you take your first 30 hours, that first course 1, you can actually take the national and the state exam. Once you do that, now you got to finish the rest of the courses, and then you submit all of that to the Department of Commerce, and then that's when you can actually hang your license and do all that stuff.
So can I pass with like a 70%?
No, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah, I was trying to get away with a C.
No, you gotta get. I think it's a 75 or something like that. You gotta get on the test.
Okay, gotcha.
On both tests.
And then is there the cost wise? For someone looking to invest in doing this, do you have a range of how much it costs?
That's a good question. I don't actually remember the cost as much. I think it might be. I would say roughly with your realtor fees and the classes, the price for the test and everything. I would say you probably want to have at least like $1,200, maybe something like that. I think I don't necessarily remember all the way, but yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So make sure your kids out there, if you want to be a realtor, real estate agent, make sure you got some little
realtor.
What did I say?
Realtor.
Okay, yeah. Africans, we just be mixing up things. We just be running with it, man. So, in the field so far, how does one become after you do all that, right? What's next? What's next? Do you pick? Because I know there's a bunch of
you pick your brokerage.
Okay.
So once you get your license, then you'll pick your brokerage, and then after you pick that, then you may be independent or you may sign up with a team and join a team to kind of have a little bit more credibility as you're going through it.
Yeah.
Now the hard part is like a lot of people want to become a realtor, but not everybody understands how hard the business actually is.
Yeah.
If you're not, I'm gonna say this directly to the camera.
Right, yep.
If you're not okay with being disappointed, if you're not okay with people saying no to you, then it's probably is not the business for you. Because in real estate, bro, you're gonna constantly get no's.
Yeah.
You're gonna get so many no's it ain't gonna make no sense.
That's
like
interesting.
for real. Like people gonna constantly be saying, no, I'm good. I don't want to sell my house. No, I don't want to use you as my realtor. I want to use this guy. You're gonna constantly do that, and you can't let that stop you or hinder you from where you really want to go. You got to keep pushing through it and being consistent.
Yeah, I heard one time I was talking to somebody, like you got to drive to places, you got to like to show houses and things like that. Like how many miles do you
Man, a year I probably put at least 30,000 miles probably on my car. Yeah, it is not. It's not fun.
With the gas right now, you mad? You just get a bike, bro. Electric bike. I'm gonna meet you there in 6 hours. 6 hours good.
Man, and some clients, I'll be like, man, I know you're not gonna put an offer on this house.
Yeah.
While we driving 40 minutes to just, but no, it's good. I like serving. I like helping people. So
yeah,
it is what it is. It's part of the gig.
Sales, and it's all about relationships, and just always, that's how you become successful, having that relationship with people, and sometimes not immediate gratification,
Yeah.
And having the determination and motivation to keep going.
Well, bro, we live in such a microwave generation, right?
I know, man.
Where like literally people pop it in, they want it to just be, they want to pop right away.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that's popping right away is popcorn. Straight up, that's the only thing that's popping right away when you throw it in the microwave is popcorn. It's gonna pop.
Yeah.
But the thing is like you gotta. I don't look at my life and my business as a microwave. I look at my life and my business as a crock pot. Okay.
Go ahead, talk. You roast it all day. You
come on, man. It goes slow. Yeah. You put the different ingredients in it. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You really putting your foot in it, real talk.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You be seasoning your food?
Come on, bro.
Okay, my bad. That's a bad question.
That's a terrible question.
So how does one become successful in today's environment? Because there's so many agents and there's so many, I don't know how many, you selling all the houses, so I don't know how many houses they got left.
Chill, bro.
There's so many agents and things like that. How do you separate yourself from the rest of the competition so people want to be like, yo, I'm going to Chauncey. What? That's the guy I want to work with.
Man, I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. I always say this. In this business, 90% of my business is all God and 10% of it is me. Like 90% of it comes from, me being very blessed and fortunate to have relationships and to have a gift to like be genuine and like people feel that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And at the end of the day, like the one thing that I stand on is my character and my integrity. Yeah. And people, so when people try to question it or people say certain things about it or about me, like, you know, some people say, "Oh, I don't care." No, it does hurt my feelings sometimes, and it does sting a little bit. Yeah. But when it stings, it just gives me even more motivation, right? Because now I say, okay, I don't need to prove you wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
Right. I just need to continue to prove God right, to be faithful, even in seasons where people are hating on you, where people are talking about you. I just got to continue to be faithful with that, and like knowing that, like, you know, can't nobody stop what God got in store for me. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I just stay locked in, bro. One thing I've been telling people in a message that I've been sharing is like, bro, you got to block out the noise. If you want to be successful in real estate, you want to be successful in business, you got to block out the noise.
Because it's coming.
It's going to come. It's going to happen. And the thing is when it happens, can you block it out? Yeah. And I think, and as I'm saying that, you constantly get reminded of like, what is different noises that I got to block out? It might even be noises from your own family, right? Yeah. And noises from your closest friends that just don't understand the season of life that you're in, right? And everybody's season is different, but when you start to block out that noise, you're really able to laser focus yourself on where you want to be. What is your goal? What is your success goal? And if you ain't writing it down, you ain't gonna be successful because you don't got no roadmap. What's your GPS to get to where you want to get to?
Yeah. Hey, that's too hard, man. I don't even want to talk about real estate. No, we're gonna motivation just kidding. But so now, if I'm looking to buy a house, right?
Yes, sir.
Just in the simplest form, make it. How does that even? Where does that even start? Okay. Yeah. Where do we start? Do I go to the bank right away? Do I? You know what? How does it go? I don't even know.
So I would say for people that are wanting to purchase a home, the best thing you could do is begin to educate yourself, right? Start to educate yourself. Find something that you could read. Find something that you could watch or listen to, and just start to educate yourself on just the real estate process in general. Then after that, I would say connect with a good realtor that you trust. Yeah. Connect with a realtor that you trust, not somebody that you just saw on Instagram and they look like they just doing good. They're doing crazy. Connect with somebody that you feel like you can absolutely trust. Yeah. Right? That you know that has your best interests and are going to be very transparent. Now, with that being said, I can't force anybody to do anything in real estate, right? When I'm doing transactions, I always, as a realtor, you always want to take not responsibility, but you want to take liability off of yourself. So like for me, it's like, I try to do my best to educate all my clients as best as I can. But at the end of the day, it's up to them to make that decision. Now, I'm going to give my input and I'm going to say certain things. Yeah. But like a house is a house. I never want nobody to say, "Oh, you made me buy this house. You forced me to buy this house." Yeah. No, like I'm going to educate you. I'm going to give you the knowledge. At the end of the day, this is your decision because you're the one that has to love this house. And I always tell my clients all the time, I don't want you to buy a house, live in it for 6 months, and then you turn around and be like, "Dang, I don't like this house no more. Like I hate this house." Then it's like, bro, most chances are you gonna hate me too.
Yeah, they gonna get on you.
So I never want that. So I want to do good business and I want to treat people right. Yeah. But that's because also I have integrity and I know that like for me, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I knew I did wrong by somebody or I didn't give somebody the best advice. Like that would kill me way too much. So therefore, I'm always giving the game and the knowledge on how to get to that. So I would say get with a good realtor that you could trust. Yep. The next thing that you want to do is you want to get all your paperwork together. So if you have a W-2 job, if you have a salary position, chances are if you have a salary position, there's a good chance that you could purchase a house. People think that student loans hurt them. They don't hurt you. Like
they can cancel now, baby. You know what's up?
Come on.
Your house is about to be booming. Actually, everybody's student.
Bro, I think it actually will push the housing market, and we've kind of started to see it a little bit more. The market, even as we're getting later in the summer, going into the fall, like the market is still kind of staying hot because people are like, well, I'm about to get some of these student loans forgiven. So it takes a little bit of pressure off people for sure, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's what. So what? Okay. The paperwork you say W-2 of your salary. You're
W-2.
Good to go. What else?
And then you want your last 2 years of your tax returns. Okay. Okay. So basically, with the bank is not The bank doesn't want to give loans to people that they don't think can pay it or can hold the loan, right? Mm-hmm. So they want to see like your consistent flow of income and how long have you been at this particular job, and because we don't want people that just they get a W-2 job, but then 2 months later they got another W-2 job, and 2 months later they got another job. Like they want people that show that, hey, I can be consistent and I've been, and I can do this or whatever. Now here's the thing, that's just one way, right? When I first got into understanding real estate, I was thinking like, oh, there's only one way to be successful in real estate. Mm-hmm. There's so many different avenues. It's people that literally buy houses with no money. Mm-hmm. There's people that get, have strategic financing where you can get a house 100% of your house financed. So if you get the seller to be able to pay some of your closing fees or your closing costs, essentially you could basically walk into that house with like maybe $300 your earnest money, $500 out of pocket. So like I've helped people get into houses that only had $1,000, right? And they said, bro, I don't got enough to get a house. Mm-hmm. I said, trust me, I can get you a crib. And as long as you hang in there, and that's the thing, working with a realtor that you trust, as long as you hang in there, you're going to get a crib.
Okay, so I always hear this too. Back when I was younger, they're like, okay, there's obviously the traditional banks, right? And then there's like credit unions. They always like, yo, go to the credit union. They got better rates and better this. Is there a difference between the two?
Yeah, so like the bigger banks, sometimes they can have a little bit lower fees. The credit unions, typically a lot of times their rates are sometimes a little bit better, but you got to remember too, credit unions are not as big as like US Bank and Wells Fargo. Yeah. So they don't always have the best leverage with like other like programs, like down payment programs and different things like that. Now they may have some things available, but it's just a little bit different when you're working with credit unions. But they do typically have a little bit better rates. Okay.
And then now this always scares people. They're like, my credit score. How does credit score affect you getting a loan or credit score? Just tell us about it. Yeah.
So your credit score. It does affect you getting a better interest rate, but your credit score doesn't necessarily stop you from getting a home. So a lot of people think like, oh, snap, I got to have a 640 credit score to get a house. Yeah. No, like I've helped people get a house that had a 580 credit score. You know what I'm saying? Like, it isn't. Your credit score can't be like shot. Like, I don't know if I ain't never got nobody alone with like a 500 credit score. Oh, but like people that had like under 600, I still help them get into a house. So like your credit score does impact you. Your FICO score is what they go off of. Okay. So when you're thinking about buying a house, you got to keep in mind that if you are looking to get access to down payment programs, it's hard to get down payment programs if you don't have at least a 640 credit score or a 620 and higher. Okay. Because they just don't, the programs won't kick in for those credit scores. Okay. But the higher that your credit score is, the better rate you can possibly get, and also you'll be eligible for those down payment programs or whatnot.
Okay, I guess this one too, I would say, how would someone, if increase their credit score? How can I, let's say my credit score is shot, bro. It's how do I increase it? How do I increase it?
First thing that you should do is you need to identify what's hurting your credit. So like some people may have some things in collections. Some people may have some bad payments. Some people may have a lot of they probably maxed out their credit card or they went too high up in the utilization. Yeah. So, the first thing you want to do is identify, okay, what's hurting my credit. Yeah. Then once you do that, then you want to try to put together a game plan on how you can like pay down some of those debts. Yeah. Right. So like if you have some in collections, get it out. First thing, get that joint out of collections, like get it out of collections and try to figure out a settlement. Like sometimes like, when me and my wife was buying a house, we were able to like call, the cable company and get them to settle on a certain amount. So then once we got them to settle, then they sent us the notice. So then they were able to like basically take that off of her credit that, to help us get our first home. So like there's different things that you could do to like make sure that you're positioning yourself to increase your credit. First thing is you want to figure out what's hurting it. Second thing is you want to get it out of collections and try to come to a settlement and come to like some type of payment plan to pay that off.
Yeah.
The third thing you want to do is if you do have a credit card, the credit cards can hurt you quite a bit when you're trying to purchase a home. So you want to try to get that credit card amount down as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then you want to stay under that 30% utilization rate.
Yeah. I think my apartment tried to give me one time. It was like I was moving out, right? I got 1 month, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you guys a post-dated check, right? Right? Like, you know, the little okay, on this date you can take it out. I give them I'll write it. I move out a year and some change later, right? I get it. Yeah, we're trying to collect. No. I'm like, huh?
Like what?
Collect what? They're like, yeah, you didn't pay your last month rent at this spot. I'm like, hold up. This is easy to find because post-dated checks, you can go to your bank and check, you know, when you wrote it for, when it is. And I call my bank. I'm like, hey, can you look for a check that I did post-dated at this amount? They're like, yeah, give me a second. She sends it to me. She's like, yeah, it's here. They took it out. And I printed it out. I went to them. I'm like, yo, y'all had me in collections for something I paid. Here it is. And y'all took the money out too. So it was kind of interesting.
That's interesting.
That was legitimately the craziest thing ever. I'm at work getting a call from collections, bro.
So how'd you get it out of collections then? What happened?
I showed them. I went to the apartment ladies. What they're saying I didn't pay. I printed out my like the statement.
Your statement.
Yeah. And I was like, listen, and you know when you usually write it, it's for rent to this people for this amount, the exact amount they're looking for. I'm like, here's a post-dated check that I gave you guys.
Right.
And you guys took it out. So what's going on? And then that's how I got rid of that, bro.
So
that
they took
crazy.
it.
I don't know if they took it out, but it was resolved. I didn't owe them any money. No more.
Got you.
So,
but they didn't. They took that off your record though, right?
I don't even know. I think they
check?
should have. I don't know how to check. Like, who do I call? Ghostbusters?
This guy's a fool.
I don't know. I thought I solved it when I did that. So you might be helping me out right now. But
I definitely am. You should check check your credit.
Yeah, I should. That's crazy.
This dude is a fool.
Hey, but let's hit the next one now.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, what's this? What's this?
This Noonie shirt. He's kept leaving a lot of merchandise here. You know, whenever I said. He gonna see it in the video and get mad at me for wearing it.
Right. Yeah, boy, I got my stuff on.
Should have never left it here, man. But so the next side that is very interesting that everybody usually is super excited about, like, oh, I'm a real estate investor. I do this. Let's get onto the investing side, right? Let's first, what's the difference? I mean, renting and owning. Can you tell? Obviously, the difference. It should be, you know, very understandable. But like, can you give the background on it? Because I was talking to a realtor friend, and I might have said that wrong again. And they told me like people sometimes don't understand that owning is probably cheaper than renting. You know?
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference between both?
Yeah. So honestly, bro, you won't believe this. So well, you would probably believe it. But when me and my wife bought our first house, before we bought our house, we were living in Uptown in an apartment, and I think we were paying like maybe $1,100 or something like that, $1,200 in total, or whatnot for our rent. And I don't remember, that was years ago. But so my best friend was already in real estate, and he was like, yo, y'all need to buy a crib. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm trying to save a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but we had like $6,000 saved up at the time. We had like $6,000 or $7,000 saved up. But I'm like, no, I need to save a little bit more. So then he was like, all right, bro. All right. I'm just telling you though, you need to buy a house. I'm just telling you. So then our lease was about to be up. And you know, you got to let your apartment know like 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
So we had to let them know 2 months in advance. But now it's the summertime, and I was actually in Baton Rouge training, and I was on the golf course, and my friend's dad, we call him Pro. Pro was like, you know, he was just talking to his son, and he was like, hey man, you need to. Boy, get that boy some money so he could buy a house, man. Go get that boy some money. And I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
He made it seem like buying a house was going to the store and buying a banana or a bag of chips. I'm like, brother, this ain't a bag of chips. This a house.
Yeah.
But the way he made it seem, it changed. It took the pressure off of it for me, right?
Yeah.
So literally, I'm on a golf course and I text my wife, and remember, we had to let them know that we wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
We had only been married for almost a year.
Yeah.
I said, hey, we gonna buy a house. And she goes, okay. I go, no, you're not supposed to just say okay to that. I'm like, no, you're supposed to be like, why? You know what I mean? You're like, baby, are we ready? Are you tripping? Like, she was just like, okay. And I'm thinking like, yo, we haven't even been married for a year. Yeah. And we come up to be homeless and got to live with people. I said, her dad is going to be mad. Like, who did I give my daughter to? Right? Damn. So I'm like, yo, Lord Jesus, this got to work. You know what I mean? And we got back. We started looking. We filled out our paperwork and stuff. We started looking. She was actually out of town. And we got our house. We bought it at $175. This was back in 2018. Yeah. We bought it for $175. And our mortgage payment on that house is like $1,050 a month. That's it. So it's like we own this house, and now this house has appreciated in value. Yeah. They're doing some more development by it or whatnot, and the house probably is worth maybe like $220 between $220 $230. Yeah, and it's like we haven't done anything for real to the house. You know what I'm saying? Like we just maintained it, but we haven't done a ton of work to the house by any means. But that's how it works when you purchase a home. Like, you know, that's part of the process and the importance of being a homeowner is gaining the appreciation value of the home. Yeah. So then when you're going to try to buy that next house, now instead of you going and being like, I don't got the bread, now you could take all the equity that you just made off this house and utilize that money to buy your second house. And now your second house can be better than your first. Your third house can be better than your second.
And then you can rent those out.
And then you can rent the other ones out, but you got to start somewhere. So one thing that we did in the beginning on the investment side is we bought our house. Our mortgage was only $1,050 or $1,100 or something when we first bought it. Right? You can't buy no house at that amount. Yeah. Right? So like at the time, our rent was like almost $1,200, $1,300. Yeah. Our freaking mortgage was like $1,000. Yeah. You know, $1,100, something like that. So it was cheaper. Yeah. Like $100 or so cheaper than renting. Right? Yeah. So that's why we got, and when we got into it, we started house hacking actually. And I know you got that in your notes, so I figured I'd bring it up. Bring it up. So we started house hacking. We actually didn't buy a duplex initially because my wife was kind of like iffy about if I would have the time to fix up the duplexes. Yeah. And in that time frame, that price point that we were in, we were like, when we got to approve our first house, we were like under $200,000. It was like a $200,000 in lower house. Yeah. So we like, oh snap, trying to find a duplex under $200,000 was crazy hard. Like you would have had to like do so much work to the property, and my wife didn't really think that I would do it, even though I was just going. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I could do it, but she wasn't. She wasn't going for that. So we ended up finding a single family house that a guy had already flipped and fixed up for his son. His son's wife ended up not wanting to live there because it was too far away from her job. So we bought that house. And we house hacked it by renting out our bedrooms to people that went to our church. So. Because they needed a cheaper place to live, right? So it kind of worked out perfect that we were able to offer a house and also do like a little bit more community living. Yeah. And it was good at the time. It was challenging at times, I'm sure for them and also for us, because you got 4 people living in, the one house. So, and it's adults. So we all have stuff going on. But I actually enjoyed it. I learned a lot through that. Like I learned, how to build a deeper community with people that you live with and stuff like that. So that's how we started initially. And then from there, we bought an Airbnb, a duplex in Maple Grove, and we, started Airbnb-ing the top floor, and we living in the bottom with a business partner. Yep. And then we also invested into a 12-unit apartment down in Texas with one of my good friends. And then also me and another buddy, we started a real estate capital group where we're doing like syndication deals, so like bigger multifamily investment opportunities. So that's kind of where I'm at now with the investment and everything. Man,
that's awesome. So because my dad, the house that we have now in Austin, Minnesota, when he bought it for, I was thinking like 170 something, and we have, like you said, we have a bunch of kids at the house, man. Instead of piling everyone up, there was like, I don't know how they did it or how he thought of it, but there was like hack the wall and turn it into a room. And we made an additional room, right? Put a little carpet in there and new carpets other places. And the lady came to evaluate. I don't know if he ordered her to evaluate it, but they came to see how much the house was. And it was worth like, I think from what he said, like $200 more than what it was. And one thing that hit me, I was like, yo, I don't know if my dad knows, like, now you can take that 200
to go
and try to go do another
flip it into something else.
So that's like, I was like, I got to get with a realtor just for him to be able to help him out, because now maybe if he gets another house, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
You can get a nice house or something, and where now you can have that maybe pay for something and lower your stress,
Yep,
and
absolutely.
I don't know if he knew it or didn't intentionally, but he did it to help us so the people have more rooms,
Yep.
And that's what I probably
But he added value.
Added value to it. So
value
that's
add.
crazy. What, from my train of thinking, when you're, not house hacking, when you're like putting additional things into the house, what are the most valuable things that increase your house?
Right. That's a great question.
Yeah.
So if you know somebody, that owns a home and they're looking to sell it, or they are looking to rent it out or do Airbnb, I mean, the main thing with the house is kitchens and bathrooms. Like, so if I'm going and I'm about to do a flip on a house, I want to focus on specifically, obviously, the exterior, what's the curb appeal of the house, but also I want to really lock in on how do I organize and design out the kitchen and the bathrooms. I want those to look really nice. And that's the main focus. Okay. So I would say that.
So I'm gonna make sure any house I live in, it's got granite. Granite, is that the good stuff?
Yeah, that's fine. It's a little bit older. You want quartz?
Quartz. Okay, quartz. Yeah. I got some quartz. I got some quarters, man. But, so since I don't know a lot about this, on the investing side, what other information do you think is out there that people should know about? So they're not scared, or some secrets some gems that you're willing to drop on here. So
yeah, man, I got a lot of gems that I'm always willing to drop. First thing is in order to start investing into real estate and to get into real estate, the first thing that you have to do is you have to change your mindset, right? You have to shift your mindset from a poverty mindset to a wealth mindset. I didn't say rich. There's a reason why I didn't say rich. So many people look at real estate and be like, oh, this is a way that I can get rich.
Yeah.
No, you should look at real estate as saying this is a way that I can build wealth.
Yeah.
Right? And as you're getting into it, you have to first shift your mindset. The first thing, shifting your mindset. The second thing that you got to do is you have to change the conversations that you're not just having with other people, but you have to change the conversations that you're having about yourself, right? So I got to shift my mindset, but that starts when I start to change the conversations I'm having about myself. Yeah. Like, can I do it? Am I equipped? Am I good enough? Am I able? Do I have the gifts? Do I have the talent? Can I persevere? Can I push through? Can I motivate other people? Can I encourage other people? Can I take the person to the next level? Can I go to the next level? You have to constantly fight that challenge in your mind. Yeah. Right? So everything starts here, and then it starts to get to your heart, right? So that's the first thing. Then once you start to get past that, then you pretty much got almost 70% of what it takes to be in real estate. Okay. Then after that, then you got to then you have to educate yourself. So start listening to some books, or listening to some podcasts, watching YouTube a little bit here and there, and then reading some books, obviously, right? So some books that you could read, Rich Dad Poor Dad, learning the whole aspect of business and entrepreneurship, right? Another book that you could read that's a super good book for Black people and white people, honestly, for anybody, is it's a book called Black Labor, White Wealth.
Yo, I got that book.
Or White Wealth, Black Labor, something like that.
I have that book here.
You got it?
I swear to God, I'm gonna show it to you.
Go grab it. Yeah. Watch this. Can't nobody say they didn't see this book. There you go. Black Labor, White Wealth. Yeah. This, have you read this yet? No. This is a must read. A must read. Dr. Claude Anderson. This book was phenomenal. This book was super pivotal for me, shifting my mindset. This helped me kind of really understand business and understand the segregation between people, but also the wealth gap in general. So this is a really good book to read. Also, there's another book called Why Should All the White Guys Have All the Fun?
Is that Master P?
No, it's not Master P.
I think I heard him talk about that book though.
But no, that's a really good book to read to kind of get you going. And then listen to Bigger Pockets. That stuff is good. Now remember, this is all just information. Yeah. Okay.
You gotta.
Knowledge is power, but knowledge is only powerful when it's activated.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't just start to gain all this knowledge and you start don't act on it.
Yep.
Like the best tool to like being in real estate is being in real estate.
Yeah.
Right. You got to get in it. You got to do it. And you're gonna bump your heads. You're gonna take your risk. You're gonna take your bumps and bruises. Yeah. But you have to like learn how to get in it and do it. Right. So that's the next thing. Just jump in it. Start off with a single family house. Or no, I'm sorry. Sorry, not a single family. Start out with a single deal that may just be a duplex, right? Start out with a duplex, or maybe a fourplex. If I'm you and I'm wanting to get into real estate investing, I'm gonna try to see how many units can I get. Can I get all the way up to 4 units on my first deal? Yeah. Because it's easier with the bank if I start with 4, and then I can start to slowly scale down, right? So start with 4. They're gonna use that, and then the bank is gonna take the other units that you don't live in, and they're gonna use that as future rental income. They're gonna take that income that you're making. So when you move out of your unit, if you're buying a fourplex, then they're going to take the income from that unit now and add it onto your overall income. That's pretty much is going to boost your overall income now. Yeah. So you have your salary position at your job. Now you also have your rental income. Now you can get approved for way more money. Yeah. So now for the second one, you can go and buy another fourplex, right? And then as you go buy another fourplex, they use the future rental income off of that. Boom, boom, boom. Now you just added equity. Maybe you went in and you did a little bit of work on the kitchens and the bathrooms, right? Added value. Now you were able to up the rents a little bit more. Yeah. The rents are constantly increasing. The average rent is increasing 3% every year, right? So now you do that. You got a total of 8 units plus wherever you living at or whatever the case is. Now it doesn't matter. Now you can take those 2 buildings that now probably appreciated maybe 50 grand to 100 grand. Now you got potentially 200 grand of equity in between these 2 buildings. Yeah. You can either refinance to go buy another property, or you can say, you know what, I'm gonna take this 200 bands and I'm gonna go get just one single 10-unit apartment, right? So now you do that, build it up, add some value, right? Kitchens and what? Bathrooms. Yeah. Maybe you do a little bit of paint and whatever the case is. Put the rents, because when you get into investing, is multifamily investing is not necessarily what you think the building is worth. It goes off the value of the building. So the value of the building is predicated based upon the rent to. Like how much are you getting in rents? That's what's going to show me the value of this building, right? Yeah. And that's how you can slowly start. And then as you start that's just the first tool for people. Another tool is just identifying as you're gaining education. Yeah. You may say, well, I don't have the money to get in real estate. I just don't got it. Yeah. I'm going to say there's still a way you can get into real estate. Why? Because now I can partner with a friend or partner with somebody else that I know that maybe got a little bit of money, or they maybe got a W-2 job and they got a salary position. Yeah. So now they confront the loan on their end, but maybe I don't have money, but I can work on a house, or I can do the sweat equity, right? I can bring the sweat equity to the deal. Now you could do what's called an equity partnership, right? Right? You put everything in the LLC, you have a percentage of ownership, and now you could take that to the next level and say, all right, now let's do this. I want to go flip this house. You got the bread, I could do the work, or I got the sweat equity. Let me do it. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all sell the house, y'all split profit 60-40 or 50-50. Now you take your bread and go do it on your own. Yeah. But you got to start somewhere. You got to get in the game.
I'm about to go buy a house right now. I mean, who's selling something? Come on, man. Let me get something.
I got
you. No, that's a lot of information that, like you said, the mindset is the biggest thing, because if you don't have this, there's nothing else you can do.
Knowledge is power, but you got to apply it. You got to start applying it.
That's crazy. So anything else you want to add to that?
To that, I mean, I could talk about investing.
Investing all day.
If y'all listen, here's the thing: whoever's watching this podcast, I'm an open book, man. Like,
yeah, where do they find you?
I'm super transparent. You can find me on Instagram at Chauncee Hollingsworth. Yeah, you can DM me. Listen, I'm not one of those people, and I'm saying this on camera. Yeah, so this is recorded, right? Talking this one. Yeah. I'm saying this on camera. I'm not one of those type of people that's going to be like, yo, just because I'm giving you knowledge, you got to work with me as your realtor or whatever the case is. That's not the case. I'm giving this game out, and I want to educate people because I made a promise to my 8th grade basketball coach when I was in 8th grade. He would pick me up every single day, or not every day, but he would pick me up a lot and take me to practice, take me to McDonald's after the games or after practice. And I'm like, bro, why you doing all this for me? Yeah. Like, straight up, like, why you doing this for me? Yeah. Like, I'm short as a mug. I'm not making it to the league, bro. I have no league in my future. So why are you supporting me like this? Why are you doing this for me? Yeah. And he said, because somebody did it for me. He said, so he made, and I live with this I've been living like this since I was in 8th grade. Yeah. He said, just promise me that whatever I've done for you, you do the same thing for other people.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm doing this because I made a promise to my 8th grade basketball coach, but also because I know that God has a calling on my life to impact people. So like, at the end of the day, I just want to help people. I want to give game. I want to give knowledge. And in return, if that turns into an opportunity that I can help somebody, great. If not, now you can take whatever I just gave you and give it to the next person, because we always talk about generational wealth. That's a big conversation now in the Black community. But what we don't talk about enough is transformational wealth, right? Generational wealth affects me and mine. Yeah. Transformational wealth affects you and yours, right? So like, we don't have to be related for me to give knowledge. We don't have to be related for me to impact you. We don't have to be related for me to give you an opportunity to invest into real estate. Yeah. But that's what I'm about. That's my heart. It's like, hey, it's not about just about building generational wealth. Yes, that is the focus. We do have to emphasize that in our families, right? And we have to like lock in on that. But at the same time, while we're locking in on that, make sure that you're focusing on transformational wealth. Transform the knowledge that you have and transfer it to the next person, right? Transfer the gifts that you have to the next person. Transfer the passion. Like right now, I'm passionate about this. I want to transfer that over to you and you. Like, so you could be like, man, whatever I'm gifted at, whatever I'm doing, the Bible talks about your gifts. Your gifts will make room for you. Whatever you gifted at, right? You operate in that gift as long as you can, and I guarantee you're going to start to sit and eat at the table in spaces that you never thought you could ever be in. But you got to really focus on not just you and yours, but
me and mine.
You don't care about mine? You got to focus on the next person.
Yeah. Okay,
because the thing is, when you try to rhyme, but it was cool. But you gotta focus on serving people, bro. Yeah. And I guarantee you, if you not like, when you get into real estate, you can't get into real estate talking about something, I want to just make a lot of money. Yeah. Like, you gotta have a why. Like, what is your why? What motivates you? Yeah. Like, what gets you to that next level? What's taking your mindset to the next level? And it can't just be, I want to make a lot of money, because you can make a lot of money and still not be happy. So you got to figure out, what is your why? For me, my why is I want to impact people. Yeah. I got into real estate because I said, hey, it ain't even about money. Yeah. But guess what it's going to allow me to do? What real estate is going to allow me to do? It's going to give me the freedom. It's going to give me the freedom to do what I feel like God has placed me to do. Yeah. Right? Where I don't have to feel bound by a job or feel bound by being in the gym, you know, from 8 in the morning to 9 in the morning to midnight or at 10 o'clock at night. Like, it gives me the freedom to be able to utilize my gifts and my talents in a different way where I can still impact people and change lives. Yeah. It got to be bigger than you, bro. It got to be bigger than you. What is your why? What motivates you?
Man, I think you should drop everything and become a motivational speaker. I need that energy, you know, because I'm usually the one handing it out. And there's one thing that you said in there, like, that you did it to help people, right? And there's this one sales story that I always heard about this one individual. He was going up against his competition, but the people that were looking to buy, he knew that what they're looking for, his was a little bit more next level, you know? So the one thing that he did, he's like, hey, I want your business, but what you're looking for and what you actually need is not my product. Yeah. Go to the competitor, because they service exactly what you're looking for. You don't need the extra gadgets and that we have. That ours is more expensive. Him doing that right there, and I think he lost that deal because of that. But him doing that right there, the lady that he told that to, remember that, and she became something big and hired him, and now he's making some crazy amount of money just because of that. Wow. Losing that deal because he was looking to be the better person for the right thing. And it ended up being the best thing for him that he done. You know, instead of getting that deal being that sleazy guy, when you know, come on, bro, you know, they don't need that. They needed this product. So that's real impact. Yeah. That character right there is what got him into other doors.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I believe your integrity and your character, I say this all the time, and I stand firm on this. Your character will protect you, right? Because, like, when other people may say something bad about you, somebody gonna turn around and say something good, or somebody not gonna believe it because they're gonna be like, I know that guy's character. Yeah. Right. So a lot of times, and it's hard because when you know somebody's saying something bad about you, it's hard for you to just sit back and be like, all right, I ain't gonna say nothing to him. I ain't gonna say nothing. But that's hard. That's challenging.
That's
but the
super
biggest thing, but the best thing you could do is let your character fight for you.
Yeah.
Because it will. Your character will protect you. So
absolutely. That's how I got some jobs. But last message you want to get to the people quick before we, cut it?
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Chase your purpose.
Yes, sir.
Don't chase just passions. Chase your gifts.
Yeah.
And as you're doing it, remember your why. Keep God first. Mm-hmm. Love on people as best as you can. Mm-hmm. Life is short. Life is really short. And take advantage of every opportunity that you have to be a blessing and to impact the person in front of you. So I hope that this podcast, I don't know, I didn't know what to expect with it, but I hope that it impacts anybody that's watching. Mm-hmm. And make sure you follow us on social media.
Yep.
What's your social?
It depends on. I got so many social medias it's all in my head.
He got fake accounts. This man got fake accounts.
Some of y'all that blocked me. Just kidding.
Hey, but at Chauncee Hollingsworth,
yep.
Team Hollingsworth Realty,
yep.
Mission Real Estate Group, EXP Realty, Laurie Hill Capital. I got a ton of businesses that I'm doing, but hey, I would love to connect, impact you, impact people. I'm sorry, not impact you, impact people in whatever way I can.
Yep.
So if I got something that I can offer, I'm willing to do it. Hit my inbox.
And like I said, man, his character, I can vouch for it. Is gonna if you need someone that's gonna be a good real estate agent, I'm just gonna say that because I keep messing up the other word.
Realtor.
Yeah, a good real estate agent that has character that will stand for you. You know me, and you know what I'd say about character. I'll go with him. Guyado Banger Boy Edition Podcast, and we out of here.